Mirella Amato knows everything you need to know about beer. She consults, she judges, she writes, she educates. She is also the first Canadian to earn the title of Master Cicerone. And because it is barbecue season, we thought we would talk to her about pairing beers with grilled food. And joining us, my favorite Master Cicerone, our beerologist, Mirella Amato. How are you, Mirella? So nice to see you again.
I'm well. It is very lovely to see you. Thanks for having me.
So, Mirella, most of us don't really realize, do we, what a huge variety of beer there is out there?
For sure. It's been a very exciting few years for beer. I think at this stage we can say craft breweries are here to stay. And these breweries that at first were really focused on recreating traditional styles from various parts of the world, in the past few years they've really ramped up their innovation, coming up with new ingredients to add to beer, new ways to create beers, and even creating entirely new styles. So with the variety that's out there right now, there really is a beer for every food, every mood, and every occasion.
Because it's just like wine, isn't it? I mean, different kinds of beer paired with different kinds of food can make the food taste better.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you pick the right beer to go with your food, the beer will taste better and the food will taste better together than they do on their own. Like you said, it's very much like pairing wine with food. And I'm excited to see more and more people experimenting with beer and food pairing. And for those who haven't tried it yet, I really encourage you to dive in. As we mentioned earlier, there are tons of different flavors to choose from. So there's really a lot of room to play. And the other piece of good news is that when you're pairing beer with food, you're much less likely to encounter a clash, which can really be a concern. It can be a bit of a barrier to entry for wine and food pairings. So one of my absolute favorite things to do is finding the right beer to pair with, with
maybe you can give us some examples then. Can you give us like five examples of 5 beers that you would recommend we bring to a barbecue?
Oh, for a barbecue, so the first beer, definitely you're going to want a golden lager. Someone's going to be cooking on the grill. They're going to need some refreshment. So that's a barbecue beer. We can't get around it. But in terms of food pairing, then the second beer I would bring is an amber beer. And that beer is going to have caramel and toasted notes that match really well with seared notes. So any light barbecued food where the searing is the dominant note, like a white fish, a chicken, vegetables, vegetable patties, you're going to want an amber beer on hand. Then for those who prefer dark meats, you're going to want a black beer, so a porter or a stout. These beers also have those notes that go well with searing, but they have a couple of deeper roasted characteristics that match really well with like burgers or steaks, or even if you like to do like a grilled salmon. And the other beer, the fourth beer, would be a pale ale. And that's for those who gravitate towards the saucy foods. So if you like ribs or a sticky pulled pork, and in those cases, or even if you like to put a lot of dressing on your hamburger or blue cheese on your steak, you're going to want a pale ale with these nice bright flavors that play well off the richness of the cream and create a bit of a refreshment between bites. And the final beer that I would definitely bring to a barbecue is a fruited sour. So these beers are exactly what they sound like. They are sour and they're made with fruit. So they're incredibly refreshing in the summer, just like having a fruit salad or a lemonade. And these beers are great instead of a lager. If you just want to find some refreshment, they will pair better with all of your entrees. And for myself, the fruit beer is something I save for after the meal. I like to just sit down and quietly sip on a fruited sour and just it's a wonderful way to cap off a meal.
And when it's very hot out, it's better not to drink high alcoholic beverages, correct?
For sure, for sure. The thing with drinking alcohol is that it does give you a sensation of heat or flushing, that warming sensation. And that's actually why we gravitate towards beer in the summer more than alcohol or spirits, because in the summertime, we don't want that warming feeling. So I recommend definitely picking beers below 6% alcohol and if possible below 5. That way you get maximum refreshment during a barbecue.
And very quickly, Mirella, there is a reason why beer should be served in glasses.
Absolutely. It's very tempting with a barbecue to think, I'm going to go no fuss and just drink out of the container, but you want to pour it out because that beer is designed to be poured out for you to knock out some of that carbonation in the foam. If you don't do it, you're going to have all that carbonation left in the beer. You're going to drink that carbonation. It'll dampen your appetite. I recommend pouring a beer out in any context, but especially when you're pairing beer with food. Take the time, get a glass or a cup and pour it out. You won't regret it.
Very good advice. So, Mirella, everything that you mentioned is all on your website, plus you've got courses as well for people who want to find out more about pairings. And it is beerology, one word, beerology.ca for more information. Thanks so much for doing this today, Mirella.
Enjoy.